is my place. You came in here uninvited. You came in here violently in some ways, and you came in here disrespecting my space. I'm not going to leave. And not only am I not going to leave, I'm going to make your life here a problem. I'm going to be disruptive. I'm going to give you shit all the time to have to deal with because you came in here and gave me crap. Now I'm giving it right back to you. So there's this, again, largely UPG here, but to me, this is a large reason why I feel a lot of times places and people in places have problems where they live, is because whether they did it themselves or whether the people before them did it, or whatever, the relationship wasn't established properly. You know, they didn't put the work in. Whether they moved in there new, um, took over a new resident from the previous people, you know, they didn't do the necessary work uh, to establish a peaceful place. Now, again, when it comes to this type of thing, I think there's a good bit of information that I'm about to share with all of you. That if you really want to go into studying more about this, there are some really key pieces of literature that have been recommended to me, and that I in turn recommend to a lot of people. So we're going to start with. I'm just going to put them up on camera here for you all to see. We're going to start with, of course, the Land Nama book. So I've got it here on screen, but it's the book of so Land Nama book is just the book of settlers. So when Iceland was settled by the Norwegians, um, this is a collection of um, valuable resources, um, specifically surrounding Icelandic folklore. So, how the Scandinavian people of Norway carried their traditions from where they left when they settled Iceland. A lot of what you're going to find and contained in this book, or a good bit of what contained in this book, is how land was claimed, or how land was um, uh, claimed with fire and so forth. So the links for these books are going to be down in the description or show notes of this episode. But that's one book that I recommend. The next two books that I recommend are by the same author. I don't know how to pronounce his last name correctly because I'm not French. But the author's name is Claude Lecotu. I don't know. Um, but the first book that I'm going to recommend by Claude is Demons and Spirits of the Land, Ancestral Lore and Practices. This goes over a lot of medieval stories, folk traditions, even spiritual place names, and various pagan rituals of home building, and site selections. So beyond Germanic, there's Celtic, English, I'm sure, um, but you've got everything from uh, you know unusual manifestations to demons and fallen angels, cult remnants, um, the evidence of place names, the undersides of idolatry, all the way from that over to taking possession of a piece of land, encountering the spirits of the local land, contract with the spirits, enclosed space that is sacred, the conquest of the space. This is a great source, and Claude, of course, does. He is a well respected academic. He was a professor of medieval literature and civilization um, at the Sorbonne. He's the author of numerous books beyond what I'm just going to be naming here. Um, Multiple books on medieval and pagan beliefs and magic, including the Book of Grimoires, The Tradition of Household Spirits, which is going to be next on my list, and A Lapidary of Sacred Stones, and the Secret History of Poltergeists and Haunted Houses. And at the time that this book was published, um, which was in 1995, He lived in Paris. I don't know if he's still alive or not. But yes, so that just goes straight into the next book, The Tradition of Household Spirits, Ancestral Lore and Practices. So these two books by Claude Lecoultre, critical reading, crucial reading for heathens, especially to understand the dynamic, the relationship that we can have with the spirits that inhabit places, locations. This book is great because it goes into the house, covering things like the house and its construction, the buildings, openings of the house interior. I don't know if it's in this book or if it's in Demons and Spirits of the Land, that talks about there being some folklore um, that uh, states that when it came to erecting a building, that the people wouldn't even do that first without they wouldn't do that without first sacrificing a living animal, or a life, for that, because they knew that to claim that space required that a life to be sacrificed for it. So it was serious business. It meant something to ancient, medieval or later uh, civilizations. Now, of course, we live in a time, and we live in an era where, just because you want to build a house doesn't mean you need to go out and kill a goat or a cow or a pig or anything like that. But these three books here that I cited for you, are not expensive. You can save up a few pennies, a few bucks here or there, and then and have these books in your collection, within a month or two, if you're really scrimping and saving. Um, but again, the links for them will be, you can buy them on Amazon. So I'll link them all down in the show notes for you. But a lot of what these books will help you with, I should say, is educating you on the worldview that these people had. And if you're adopting an old ways belief, such as heathenry, um, and you want to strengthen your bond or connection with the spirits of the land, these books can help with it.